Hey guys, what's going on? This is Clay. Today I'm bringing you my first Modern Warfare 3 commentary. I'm excited about it. The new game has been out now for about a week, and a little bit less than a week, and yeah, it's finally here. And you know, it has been really fascinating. You know, as a member of the community, you know, meaning that anybody who plays Call of Duty and watches YouTube videos, but watching the community's reaction has been just fascinating. You know, it is so, you know, there are people on all sorts of ends of the spectrum. They like it, they don't like it. You know, there's too much that has changed, there's not enough that has changed. You know, people are all over the place on this, and it's been really interesting to see what's been going on. And so I just wanted to just kind of reflect a little bit on, you know, where the community is at now after that Modern Warfare 3 has been out so shortly, and you know, where things are heading, where things are going, and it just has been kind of curious to me. So, you know, part of me wonders if, you know, for those who say that, you know, the game is Modern Warfare 2.5, you know, I understand that there hasn't been a lot of like graphical improvement, that they haven't really like stepped it up and ran a whole new engine and all this other good stuff. But you know, the game really plays very differently than Modern Warfare 2. The maps, I think, are the biggest reason for that being. And actually, I think that the way the maps play has been one of the biggest changes that Modern Warfare 3 has brought, and maybe will be one of the biggest changes that we've seen in the development of Call of Duty. You know, the kill streak systems are different, and they're new, but at the same time, like, they're still pretty much fundamentally the same idea that getting kills, you know, will lead you to rewards, and that's awesome. You know, it's sweet to see them start rewarding, you know, objective play and whatever that is, but I would definitely say the biggest thing that has changed has been the maps. And the maps, actually, it's funny because nobody was really talking about the maps. You know, like there was little comments about how Robert Bowling would tweet about how there's going to be less power positions and the maps are going to be more basic, but nobody really got too much up in arms about that before the game was released. A lot of people were talking about how, you know, like, how are the noob tubes going to play, and you know, how are the guns going to be balanced, and you know, and they talked a lot about the new game types, and you know, like, the maps kind of got overlooked, and I think they've really taken a lot of us by surprise. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I really like what they have done to the maps. I really like it, and I think the biggest, I mean, everything is so much more straightforward. There's really not a lot of little gifs and grimaces, and you know, in Black Ops and Modern Warfare 2, like, if you didn't watch Team Art's tips and tricks videos, like, you were like at a legitimate loss. Like, if you didn't know all those little lines of sights and those little head glitch spots and those places where you can do this and that, and I mean, the maps were really intricate, and if you didn't know all those little details, you were really at a disadvantage. But now everything is so much more straightforward, and so it really like strips away all of that, and it really is just you and your ability to shoot and kill the other guy. And actually, it's funny because I think that I mean, you used to see, like, what are like the scores of games you used to see? So like domination, you used to see like, oh man, like 50, 60, 70 plus kill games, you know, in team deathmatch, like, you know, seeing somebody take 40 of the, what, like 75 kills, like, that was not terribly uncommon for some of those really beast players. But, you know, in Modern Warfare 3 so far, it seems like, at least to me, it is more difficult to come by those really beast high scores. And I think the biggest reason is the maps. I mean, because the maps play much more straightforward, it's harder to go on those massive kill streaks. It's harder to, I mean, you really have to do a lot more to go on, you know, to really step up your game and get those big numbers. And also the way that the maps have impacted kill streaks. I mean, like, I have not personally gotten an AC-130 yet, because I've been spending a lot of time messing around with the specialist package, which I absolutely love. But for the clips I've seen of people running AC-130s, I mean, you don't get the same sort of numbers that you used to. And I think the biggest reason is not that its damage has been nerfed, but maybe it has. But the biggest thing is the maps. There are a lot more buildings. There's a lot more close quarters combat. There's a lot more places for people to hide. I mean, it's not also out in the open for AC-30 to just dominate. And to be completely honest, I think that's a good thing. I really do. Kill streaks are sweet, but when you're getting like half of your kills off of your kill streaks, I mean, it just kind of inflates the numbers. I mean, really, like, how hard is it? Like, I realize that it's difficult to get 8 kills or 9 kills in a row to get a chopper gunner in Black Ops. But really, like, I mean, if that gets you, like, such a large percentage of your kills, I mean, it just kind of inflates things. But really, like, in Modern Warfare 3, because the playing field is a little bit more leveled, you really have to stand out more with your gun. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and make this claim. I think that because the maps are the way they are, and because it's harder to go on those big, long kill streaks, and even when you do get the really high kill streaks, they don't get you as many kills, I think that will help to further separate the men from the boys. And let me just say this. This actually reminds me a little bit of Counter-Strike. For those of you who played PC games, Counter-Strike Source is probably one of the best shooters ever. In terms of popularity, in terms of longevity, staying power. I mean, this game is still being played in mass, and I don't even know how old. 10 years? It's crazy old. But in Counter-Strike, it's similar that you die fast, guns do a lot of damage, they don't even have kill streaks, so it's really all about your guns. And in Counter-Strike, it's mostly a search and destroy format, which is, to be honest, like something that really makes it different. But one thing that is the same is because you die so quickly and because the maps are straightforward, I mean, it really is all about you and your ability to anticipate. You know, call it game sense, call it awareness, situational awareness, call it what you will, but, you know, in Counter-Strike, your ability to estimate, you know, or to anticipate where your enemies are going to come from, to know the map flow, to know the checkpoints, to know the traffic patterns. I mean, all these things that go in to you winning your gunfight before you even see your opponent. That's how you become successful. And I think that because this really has not been seen before in Call of Duty, especially Black Ops, because you had the ability to evade a gunfight. And I would say that to some extent, like, Modern Warfare 2 especially, like, it's so run and gun, so fast paced. You just kind of run around and, you know, who can see and react first. Such a twitch shooter. But because of the way the maps have changed, you know, you can't. It's harder to rely on that. So you're going to have to rely more on your awareness and your ability to know the maps, know the map flow, know where traffic patterns come, anticipate your gunfights, and get yourself in a position where you win the gunfight before you even see the guy. You know, this is going to, in the end, further separate the men from the boys. And you know, like, it's good that Call of Duty has been considered noob-friendly. I mean, that's a good thing to get people in the game. But, you know, I'm excited to see how, you know, the ways in which good players are continued to separate. And, you know, I think that to have the ability to have such a high ceiling of skill level, you know, like, if the separation from the worst player and the best player is pretty narrow, I don't think the game is going to have a lot of success. I mean, if you don't have such a high goal to shoot for, then, you know, you don't really, you're going to reach that level a lot sooner, and you're going to have a harder time, you know, really establishing yourself as a good player. But if there is a much greater gap, like if when you start and you can see like how good the best players are, it's gonna give you that drive, that incentive to really push and to really achieve a high level. You know, but we'll see. And the game just came out. We'll see how the community continues to react. But I think it's been pretty fascinating so far to see how Modern Warfare 3 has been received. Just, I mean, it really is a curious thing. I mean, from sales-wise, it's done so well, so popular. But, only time will tell how the game does in the long term and how the Call of Duty franchise continues to grow and be successful. So that's the end of the game, 34-12, and I'll see you guys again soon. This has been Clay.